welcome to Win, Lose, or Cry, Maple Leafs podcast. It's trade deadline week. Some stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened.
Big week coming up right now.
It was crazy. We had something happen that's I don't think it's ever really happened in the NHL before with this the whole Anaheim, Vegas, Dadanov thing.
It's just
insanity.
Honestly, it's stupidity.
Yeah,
that's all. Like you have guys making $1 million a year to make decisions for a $80+ million roster, and they can't even look over the fine details before doing something.
We could look. It was on Cap Friendly. It's public knowledge. And they're trying to say, oh, okay, you know what? For anyone who doesn't understand what we're talking about, Evgeny Dadanov was traded from Vegas to Anaheim. He has a no movement clause, which included Anaheim, and nobody decided to check if he had a no movement clause
to make sure they could do the deal.
So they did the deal. Vegas did some other moves. The NHL has now deemed it null and void. So now Evgeny is back with Vegas to a team that tried to ship him out for, I think it was the third. And now Vegas is over the cap, and nobody knows what's going on.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. They got to either pay a penalty next year, or they're putting someone on waivers and see you later.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be one or the other. Now, that team does have a ton of money tied up in injury reserve.
They do.
Right? They have... I kind of feel bad for the team, but half the team's out injured. Right? Mm-hmm. They've got Pacioretty's out, Leonard's out, McNabb's out. They're missing a lot of players that are good players, but that sucks.
It really does.
You're right. They did make some trades. They made a couple moves, and it backfired on them in the last minute. Because they waited till the very last second to put that trade through, and it didn't work.
I'm gonna say
I missed Mark Stone too.
Yeah,
they're down Mark Stone. They have so much money tied up off the books. Come playoff time, watch out.
Oh,
right. None of that matters.
If they make the playoffs at this point, they're in free fall.
Yeah, I don't know if it's free fall. They're in trouble, but I mean, who's really gonna push them hard?
Well,
the Canucks, the Stars.
Where are they? Where are they right now?
For them to free fall, Brandon,
they're in a wild card spot right now.
Yeah, they are. But again, it's the Stars.
The Canucks are
the Canucks.
The Canucks are 4 points behind with 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Canucks are going to make. I think for the remaining games of the season, Vegas will still be the better team. They just need to make the playoffs. That's it.
But that's what I'm worried. When they get to the playoffs, they're going to be a monster. The problem is they're three.
Assuming that the players on injury reserve are going to be ready to play.
I say this all the time in regards to Leafs. On paper,
yeah,
they should be monsters. However, they're 3-7-0 in the last 10. And like I said before, it's not like it's a big jump. They have 2 games in hand. Canucks have 2. They're tied.
Yeah. It's not.
They're not comfortable.
It's not a crazy jump. No, they're not. They have to fight for a spot.
Yeah.
But all they need to do is get in.
Yeah.
Realistically, that's all they need to do.
I know. I'm just this is a go for it year again for them. They've done all these things. What do you do if you don't make the playoffs? Jeez. Yeah.
You fire the GM.
Maybe.
Realistically, at some point, you have to look at the team, look at where the team is, see what they've done. Yeah, they've made multiple Stanley Cup appearances. They made a Stanley Cup Finals appearance 2 times, I think.
It was in their first year they did it, and then the second year.
Yeah, the first year they did it.
first and
But
third.
then you have to look at the outcome. This year they're in trouble because of the cap implications with that trade not going through. Last year in the offseason, they traded away Fleury for nothing,
And now they need a goalie.
and didn't tell him.
Yeah, they found out on Twitter. Like they don't. This management group is like, we will win at any cost, and we don't care who we have to step on to get there. And they're lucky they're in Vegas, man, because people might not want to play for them if they weren't Vegas.
Well, and that's the thing, is I think that picture of Las Vegas is wearing off, and is going to, and I think new management is what's going to have to fix it.
I think you're right.
So we'll see if they made the moves this year, and have the team that they have. Granted, half the team is injured, but they made the moves to get Jack Eichel, take a risk on Jack Eichel with him not being able to play, not knowing if he could play, and they can't make the playoffs because of either a cap implication or something. You have to start looking at the GM and say, are you worth keeping around, or could the team be better in every aspect without you?
Yeah.
Really, I get his job. I get his job is to win a Stanley Cup.
And you know what? He
has come very close. He has come closer than 28 of the other GMs. Out of the 32 GMs, he's probably been the best out of the 28 or 29 others.
RIP lasted 21 and a half episodes.
Yes, we'll have to cut out all of that.
That's fine. No, it'd be fun. What was I saying before that? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Okay, to pick back up, I was saying that they'd have to fire the GM, make the team better all around, like personnel wise, on the ice, off the ice. Like I said, for winning a Stanley Cup, he's come closer than 28 or 29 of the other GMs. But outside of that, he's done a horrible job with this team and has made a bad reputation for this team.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's kind of my opinion on the Vegas Golden Knights, what they're doing there. I mean, looking at it, they only have 3 players from the expansion draft on that team.
They reel them in and cut them loose.
That's it. And I mean, 3 of the players are names that you would know. One of the, like William Carrier, however you pronounce it, no idea who that is.
Nope.
He makes $1.4 million a year. And
that's a creative character.
Yeah, like it's the other ones are William Karlsson, who had an absolutely dominant first year with them. Jonathan Marchessault and Brady McNabb.
Yep.
Are the other players of the expansion team, but other than that, they've all pretty much been traded to the team.
Well, if you're going to be a contender-wise, they've done a very good job up until now.
Fantastic. They've done a fantastic job.
Things are starting to kind of bite their head a little bit, like some of the decisions. But
well, yeah, and
we'll see if it pays off.
We'll
see if it pays off.
Yeah.
Before we go, we are going to talk in depth about the whole trade deadline. But briefly, I want to talk about the Leafs last week, and then based on that, because what I mostly want, we don't have to go in depth. I mostly want to say, how does Källgren look?
So I mean, the first game he put up, his first career start is also his first career win and his first career shutout. So he had a pretty good night.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought he was okay. Like I would be happy with him as a backup. However, he was kind of sloppy with his puck play. The way he gave up some rebounds. Like I said, he got a shutout, which was good, but I think that's partially due to a couple lucky bounces for us. Couple unlucky bounces for the Stars, and yeah, I mean, he had 35 saves that game.
Yeah,
so
he had a good game.
He took some shots on. However, like I said, you play that game 10 times over, and he does not get a shutout 10 times out of 10. Like,
But
the amount of goals they would have gotten would have been a lot higher.
But the fact, and you said it, he's not a starter, and no one was expecting him to be a starter. But also, no one expected us to have found money in a solid backup. That's just
and he's at this point. I would like him as a third. Right. I still wouldn't like him as a second, but he'd be a good third.
He'd be a solid third.
Pretty standard third. I mean, he did win against the Hurricanes the next night or the next game.
So what I'm thinking with him is, I would rather him be a third. But from the goaltending we've been receiving this year, and by year I mean 2022, not 2021.
Yeah,
I'm very happy that this guy just came out of left field and is able to save goals. Like
okay, but hold on. He saved goals in 2 of 3 games. The third game he put up the third I think he put up an 848 the third game.
Yeah, not great.
Which is on par with what we've been getting.
2 of 3. He's only played 3. It's not a very good sample size. However,
it's not.
The way you see them play, though, the Leafs look more comfortable in front of him than they do Mrazek.
That's strictly out of confidence.
Yeah.
For the players, right? Like that's all it is it's just a big confidence boost for them because it changes up the lineup, right? It gives them somebody else. I think they beat the Hurricanes because of how he played against the Stars.
It's like when you get a new coach, right? You get the new coach boost, you get the new goalie boost.
Not even that. No, it's a different kind of boost, right? When you're playing in front of a good goaltender, a goaltender that you know you can rely on, you play a different style of hockey.
Agreed.
Right? Like you don't have to second guess or double think anything. Right? When you're playing in front of a goaltender that you are not confident in at all, and I can speak from experience because I've done it. When I play with a goaltender who's not good and I cannot trust them for anything, you double think some of your passes because if it gets intercepted, they have a chance of scoring.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, like, when you play against a goalie like Mrazek right now, where every shot is a goal or is a potential goal, you play a very different style. You play a more shut down defensive style, which we've seen bites teams in the ass. And I'm not just talking the Leafs. When a team goes with a lead and they shut down their offense and start playing defensively, the other team realizes it and they put the pressure on.
So now we're talking about him as a third. I on this team, and I think for the year he's going to be as soon as Campbell's back, he's second. Because tonight, we're actually currently the Leafs are playing Jersey.
Yes.
And they decided to put Mrazek in net for some reason. And all right, the Leafs, it's a tie game, 2-2. He's let in 2 goals on 15 shots. It's not good enough.
Not good.
That's not good enough.
He's got a higher save percentage than what Kallgren did in the Nashville game. Right? So I mean, like I understand them playing Mrazek this game. But I actually do.
I don't want to use that game. Maybe I'm trying to take it overall because it was only 3 games, right? Because goalies can have a bad game. And,
absolutely.
Right? Like if he plays 10 games and that's the one game he's under 900, you don't give a crap. But it's a 3 game.
You don't.
Right? So it's kind of hard to tell. But like but the fact that he was a 944 and then a perfect and then had a bad game.
Yeah.
I mean, if one game was a shutout and then the other 2 were bad, I would lean more towards what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
so from Keith's standpoint, playing Mrazek, the reason I agree with it for tonight is because Källgren just got tanked in the last game.
Yeah.
Mrazek just passed through waivers, meaning no NHL team wants you.
Yeah.
And so with those 2 aspects, it's like, you know what? Let's put him in this game. He knows no other team wants him. He knows he's not going anywhere. Like, let's see what this guy can do, right? And that may be I don't want to use the word wake up call because I feel like it's used so often with the Leafs.
Well,
They lose to all these teams. It's like, oh, it's a wake up call. No, it's not a wake up call at this point. But like, you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of.
I get it.
You just cleared waivers. Our other goalie just had a bad night. He's a rookie. We don't want to give him 2 bad nights in a row. Let's give him the night off. Let's run with Mrazek. And so I agree with playing him tonight for that reason. Now, if this game continues the way it's on against Canadians, I am not playing Mrazek. I would play Kallgren or Källgren.
Källgren, yeah. Man, if I'm not watching the game right now, obviously. But man, 2 goals in 15, not great. And it's against a non-threatening, so not supposed to be a threatening team. Jersey's not that great of a team.
No. They're not.
And that's another reason why they probably played him in this game. To be like, this should be an easy one.
Well, you know what? I'm just looking something up here. So, before I say anything, the Devils are not a very good team. They are in second last place in the Metropolitan Division. However, they have more goals for than Boston, Red Wings, Sabres, Senators, and Canadians.
So they're a glass cannon.
They can score. They cannot save. Oh goodness!
What's their goal differential?
So like I said, they have 195 goals for.
Pretty good.
That's more goals than Boston, Red Wings, Sabres, Senators, and Canadians. They'd be in 4th in the Atlantic Division for goals for.
Okay.
They are at negative 35.
There it is.
They cannot. They are in second last place for goals against in their division.
Because who's their goalie? Isn't their goalie like?
Oh,
is their goalie Nedeljkovic? Is that him? Is that who he plays for?
This season, it's anybody. Remember when the Leafs won 7-1 against them?
Yeah.
They were playing like their 6th-string goalie.
Oh.
So their starter is Mackenzie Blackwood.
Right.
He's their starter, but I know he's had injury problems this year, and so has their backup and their other backup, and they've had a list of injuries.
That's brutal.
Yeah, like I don't actually know exactly. I'll look it up real quick and see. Yeah. I know Blackwood is like Blackwood's a pretty good goaltender.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah. So they have Blackwood. Looks like they have Jonathan Bernier too.
Yeah.
Andrew Hammond. Corey Crawford. I don't think this list is accurate.
No, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But
unless they do, unless I'm just out to date on who their goaltenders are because they're all
I have
injured.
no idea. Who's Jersey? Who cares?
Yeah. Well, you know what? They have Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes, who are just gonna be absolutely fantastic centermen.
Both of them are like fantastic players.
Yeah, they are. So they do have Hammond and Blackwood and Bernier.
Who's playing tonight?
Nico Dawes.
Oh.
Who would be their 3rd string goalie, maybe 4th string?
That sucks.
Yeah, like he's 22 years old.
Poor guy.
That's what I mean. Like it's a team that they can score. Mm-hmm. They have no goaltending.
And that's what's gonna happen when you have like your fifth string goalie in net. Like, what are you gonna do?
Maybe next year. What can you do if you don't if your goalies are injured, right? Like,
I mean, look at the Leafs. So Leafs are in a similar position.
No, our goalies just suck.
Oh man. Last thing I want to bring up about those games, unless you have anything, something minor, funny. Bench minors. We keep seeing this year after year after year, and I don't know why we can't get this out of their heads. But these bench minors, the Leafs lead the league this year again with too many men on the ice penalties. They lead the league with 11. Second place is 8. Why can the Leafs not learn how to line change?
You know what? Out of all the things that we have to complain about,
it's very minor.
That's not worth complaining about.
It's not. It's just like Why don't you know how to line change properly? It's like it's the dumbest thing.
Yeah, it's just
why are you?
I get it. I get it. It is a dumb thing, but again, there's bigger issues.
Absolutely, I wouldn't have brought it up if they weren't leading the league in a stupid category.
Yes,
it's like
this. Aren't they also like last place though in penalty minutes?
Yeah, they just take them in stupid things.
I guess so. Don't wait till the playoffs. You see all the delayed game penalties they get.
Oh my god, yeah, can't wait.
Like last year.
Yeah, can't wait.
Sorry, one last thing. Jake Ottinger, is that his name? I think pretty sure that's his name. Did you see his save on Nylander in the Dallas game?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's quite possibly the best save of the year.
It might be.
It was absolutely fantastic.
Felt bad for the guy.
He was going one way. Nylander was going one way. The puck went the opposite way, and he just reached out and just stole the
Robbed
thing.
him.
Absolutely. I would put that potentially there for top 5 saves of the season. Absolutely. It was stunning save.
Just sucks that it was against the Leafs.
No, I don't even care.
Yeah,
I don't even care. They won 4-0 that game. Could have been 5-0, but it will wow, what a save. So that's all. I think that's the rest I have for the games. I mean,
all right then. Then question for you: do you want to go trade deadline for the league or trade deadline for the Leafs?
Let's jump into the Leafs right away.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on there for the Leafs.
Right. Well,
I know that they made you go first. Let's hear your thoughts and opinions, and I'll tell you mine after.
Do you want to? Okay. Want to just let's list them first, and then we'll go through your opinions.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The big one, Leafs get Giordano.
Yes.
Pretty damn good. I like it. And Colin Blackwell. Colin Blackwell, I heard some good things about him, actually. I thought he was a nobody. Ends up, people are saying he's going to be good on the third, fourth line and throws his weight around quite a bit, even though he's kind of a little guy. But, alrighty. I'm not bad. I thought he was just a throw-in, but he seems like a player.
I think he was kind of just a throw-in, but he's a throw-in.
He's a body.
Kind of like Lyubushkin.
Lyubushkin has been good, though.
Yeah, but he was one of those ones where he's not a big known player.
No.
However, he's going to be used in our lineup.
I like
it. Don't necessarily know where he's going to be used.
Probably like fourth line. Maybe in nights where Simmons needs a night off or something like that.
Something like that. Like because he is small. He's 5'9", I believe.
Yeah.
He's close to half the point a game, I believe. So, like, he's nothing spectacular, but you know what? Play him around. We have less than 20 games until the playoffs. Like, move him up and down the lineup. I know that he plays on that fourth line. Maybe you throw him up on the second, see how he does.
I mean, that second line needs a kick in the butt, so I agree.
I wouldn't necessarily say so. Tavares has been putting up points lately.
He has. I don't think him and Nylander gel together. I
agree.
I don't think they gel together. I think Tavares could do better with a different line mate.
Yeah, and he may.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're both putting up lots of points this year.
But wasn't Nylander's more in the first half?
Yeah, but he was still playing with Tavares.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe just the eye test.
Nylander did have a really hot start.
He did,
and did cool off, and Tavares kind of did too. Tavares started off a point a game player, cooled off for a little bit, but he's
back
still
up.
Right on the verge of a point a game player. So is Nylander. Like Nylander's gonna have his best season ever this year.
Yeah. Why does he?
For it.
Why does he not look like it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the stats say one thing, but the eye test, like, I don't think the line gels together well. I don't know why I see that. I don't know.
I think they're actually not bad together. I think having a third consistent person will make a big difference. Right? Because that's the thing, it's like you look at Marner and Matthews together, and those two are gonna play together fantastic. But look at the way they're playing now versus when they were trying out
Different
players on the first line with them, right? Like, they were still solid together. They weren't putting up points like they are now, but like, it's a 3-man line. It's not a 2-man line. That's the difference there. Is Nylander and Tavares together are one thing. Nylander, Tavares, and a third consistent player that gels with them is a totally different story. Right? Marner and Matthews and Bunting is the hottest line in the NHL right now. Prior to them going off together, but when they were switching out players on that first line, they did not play like this.
No. They found their thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Tavares and Nylander, they need that. They are having great years, but I still think they need that player.
Yeah.
They need that guy to fit in on the team and do X. Whatever X is.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to the trades. So Maple Leafs get Giordano and Blackwell from Kraken.
Yep.
In exchange for a second rounder next year, a second rounder in 2023, and a third pick in 2024. Giordano also has 50% of his salary retained, and he's talked that he'd be interested in possibly signing for next year.
Yeah, we can't afford him. Not at face value. No,
he's going to be 39. He's going to be 39. He's not going to be making $6 million.
No, but he could make 3.5, 4.
Maybe he makes 2.
He can make 3.5, 4.
Yeah,
he's had a good season this year. Like I don't think unless he takes a massive discount. I don't think he's taken less than 2.5 or 3. Absolutely not.
So yeah, that's the trade. What do you think? Do you want me to go over all of them before we talk about it in detail?
No, let's go a little deeper into that one there.
Okay.
So,
is that what the Leafs needed?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I don't think they needed a 38-year-old player.
However,
he is good. He undoubtedly is good.
Won the Norris 2 years ago.
My only worry... Sorry?
He won the Norris 2 years ago.
He did. But last time we got a player who was older, he got injured and we couldn't use him in the playoffs.
Fair.
Which was last year.
Fair.
That's my only concern, is that we have a player who's aging who could get injured. I don't think he will. I really hope he doesn't. But that's kind of my only hesitation in him. However, he's a very good player. Yeah. And I am happy we have him.
If you take age out of the equation,
because
I always incorporate age because of their degradation in talent. I like Gio because he's older, but he's still phenomenal defenseman.
He is. And he has exactly what the Leafs need.
100%.
Right? He's going to be a leadership in the room, which we saw in Foligno last year, and we have with Thornton last year. So he's going to have that leadership presence, which will help
when he's actually playing.
Yeah, he's close to half a point a game player,
but
that's not why we have him. We have him for defense, right? And so
where do you slot him in?
Where? I'd like him on the second line.
So
I want Riley Brody back.
Really? Because Riley Labushkin's been looking great.
It has been, but Riley Brody was also great.
But Brody and Gio used to be line mates.
On Calgary.
Yeah, wouldn't especially just at least to start him off. It might be as like a chemistry thing. I don't know if he's playing with him tonight.
Right now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right now, Riley Brody makes sense. Or sorry, Brody Giordano makes sense. However, once Muzzin's back and he's in the lineup, you can play around with. I mean, you could keep them.
I think Muzzin's a third pair. He comes back. I don't know.
He could be.
I think he's a third pair guy.
Sandin.
Sandin's injured, possibly until after playoffs. He's out indefinitely.
Actually, yeah, I did. I did see
Yeah.
that. I did see
So
that.
he's most likely Liljegren's most likely bottom pair.
Liljegren or Hall.
I would put Liljegren above Hall
I
in
know
that
you
depth chart.
would, but I don't think the Maple Leaf organization would. I think they'll put
That's
Hall.
that is
I think they'll put Hall up higher than him.
um I think that they would be
You can
wrong.
disagree with that all you want. There's people making millions and millions of dollars who are going to make that decision, and I think they're going to put
Oh,
Hall above Liljegren.
Engvall just scored.
All right.
But
So I
on
think
the on the
I think if
on the
with
flip
Sandin out, you're Hall and Muzzin together.
the flip side of your thing about that people make millions of dollars to make the decisions, people made
Yep,
millions of dollars to make the decision about the Dadanov trade, and look what that happened.
absolutely.
Sometimes idiots get paid a lot of money.
And they also made the Stanley Cup Finals twice in 5 years. Right? Like, yes, they make mistakes, but
Which idiot did what? You don't know which idiot's working that day.
exactly. So you know what? I think they put Hall. Hall's got the experience over Lyubushkin does, or sorry, not Lyubushkin, Liljegren. So
They got 20
I
more
think that's why
games.
he gets the edge.
I think they got 20 more games. I think because right now they're gonna have both in the lineup until Muzzin's healthy. It's gonna be Liljegren and they're both in, right?
Hall, yeah.
Yeah, Liljegren and Holland. So you can kind
Yeah.
of play around with them, move them up and down the lineup, and see which one
But
plays better.
realistically, though, one of those two is playing with Muzzin.
Yes.
And I would like to see Liljegren because he hasn't had as bad of a year as Hall. And Hall has had a horrible year.
I know, and like you said, Hall's had more experience. If your experience is that you're garbage, then we just know that you're garbage.
Yeah, but he had a good year last year, and he had a good year in the playoffs.
Yes, but he had the last 50 or 60. He's been shit.
Correct, but he has playoff experience. Liljegren does not. That's the difference.
I have
And
James. I have experience skiing. I'm not
do
good
you
at
experience? Do you have experience skiing at a very high level? That's much different than just going down a hill slowly.
Oh, I went
Because
down
that's what the playoffs is.
I disagree
The
with that.
playoffs
I
is
went down the hill.
professional.
I went down the hill fast, not on the skis.
There you go. How did it end up?
Busting my leg.
Yeah, see, the playoffs is a different game than what.
But what?
Like
but
you look at Montreal play this year versus how they played in the playoffs last year. I know the team is much different, but they were a very aggressive team in the playoffs last year. Whereas in the regular season, they're not at all. Like the Leafs got bullied by the Montreal Canadiens.
I know, but like I don't know, man. I don't trust Hall. I don't think he's a good player. I see
agree.
much more good out of Liljegren than I do Hall, and I know you're like he's got the experience, but the experience like of the last 60 games.
I'm not saying go with Hall. That's not what I'm saying.
You're saying what they might be.
I'm saying what I think will happen, which is they will go with Hall.
I
do not wish for that. I just think realistically that's what's going to happen.
I think it's a bad mistake if they do that. But
we're not going to know. Game 1 of the playoffs, it will be Hall. I will put my money on that right now.
Unless Sandin is healthy, that's the other thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is all assuming Sandin's still injured and Muzzin is back. If Muzzin's not back and Sandin's still injured, it's Hall no matter what. So I mean, with Dermott gone too, right? He got traded for a third round pick to Seattle.
Pick. Yeah.
Separate than the Giordano trade.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? Good.
Good.
They can have them.
I do remember. I actually had a Facebook memory earlier today, or not today, a couple days ago, around the time he got traded, and it was Dermott scoring his first goal. Do you remember the picture I posted? And he's like, like he's in a pileup, and it was like in the rookie year, Matthews' rookie year, and everything. And he's in a pileup. Okay. He scored his first NHL goal, and it's like the happiest face you'll ever see on a human being.
Oh yeah, amazing. I don't remember it.
Oh,
I'm glad he's gone. You know what I remember is the Spinorama last year.
That's what everyone. He's never gonna live that down, man.
You know what? Boo-hoo. Everyone rode Marner for the longest time because of how bad he played in the playoffs last year.
I agree.
Why can't we bug Dermott about a move that costs us a game?
I agree, and not just the game,
right?
Playoff game.
And you know what? It's like boo-hoo. Like, yeah, you're a Leaf fan. You're from Toronto. That's great. That's awesome. You cost the team you love, the team you grew up watching, the playoff series by losing that game.
Yeah. And
it wasn't specifically the 7th game that he did it in.
Yeah, but still.
However, it was a game that we lost, which led to us losing the series.
Directly his fault. And it wasn't a, pass that led to a turnover or a missed shot. It was, I'm going to press LT in my own end and lose the puck. I'm going to do a
stupid move and give away the puck. And guess how it ended? So you know what? See you later. I'm glad he's off the team come playoff time.
Yep, I agree.
I'm happy about that.
I agree.
Last
thing I have for the Leafs.
Yes. I have one more thing.
Yeah. I have Harry Sateri. Hari Satari.
Yeah.
Don't know how to pronounce it. I've heard 17 different ways.
Yeah.
But 32-year-old goalie. I believe the Leafs signed him, not off waivers. They signed him. He was actually playing in the KHL. He won gold with the Finnish team this year at the Olympics. Been a good goaltender. We signed him for, I believe it was the $700,000 league min, and Arizona claimed him. $750. Arizona claimed him. Sucks. I feel bad for the guy because, like I said, he plays in the KHL. Played in the KHL. So he had to pay money to void his contract.
Yeah.
So he thinking, I'm going to be playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs, a team who's a playoff contender, who is having goalie trouble. So I might get to play in the NHL playoffs. Instead, I'm going to play for the Arizona Coyotes in front of 2,000 people. And I'm going to be there for maybe a month and a half because they're not making the playoffs, and then get sent back home.
You know what? I disagree with you. I feel bad for him, yes, because he came in, signed a contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs, played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then had to get moved immediately.
To a non-contender that he did not want to play for.
Who cares? Who cares? This guy went from playing in the KHL. I'm trying to look up what his KHL contract was. But he went from... he's playing... He's actually from Grand Rapids, which is an AHL team. He played there in 2018, 2019. And then 2019, 2020, he's been in the KHL since.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't exactly know what his contract was, but, the guy is going from playing in the KHL to making $750,000 playing in the NHL. On a one-way contract where he's guaranteed $750,000, and he has shown what he can do.
There's a lot of ifs.
Ahead.
There's a lot of ifs, though. If Arizona pays him, because Arizona...
They will. Arizona pays their players. They don't pay taxes. That's it.
Apparently, they pay their players late as well. The players have been complaining about that, too.
They still got paid. He's going to get paid $750,000 for 2 months? When's the season end? End of April?
Yeah.
So... good. He's now got an NHL contract. He's on the radar of NHL GMs. He has a gold medal under his belt. You know what? I guarantee you he will be on an NHL team next year, or at least have an NHL team contract. Whether it's a two-way or one-way, he will have a contract.
Yeah, the Leafs will just sign him.
Which he wouldn't have had if the Leafs didn't sign him. So it's it sucks that he's no longer signed to the Leafs, and which is a playoff contending team. However, I don't think his life sucks that much where he's like, oh, no, I'm no longer playing for a cup contender team.
But it's still bullshit.
It sucks that that's a rule, that you can sign up a nobody from a different league, and I'm not saying he's a nobody, but you can sign up John Doe from wherever,
and they can be playing.
Sign them to your team, even though everybody else has had the opportunity to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Anyone could have signed him.
and all of a sudden other teams can be like, you know what, we're actually going to take him instead.
Yeah, that's the bullshit thing. Like
It is dumb.
Arizona could have offered him a contract, and he would have been like, "Fuck you! I'm not playing for Arizona. You're terrible. I'd rather stay in the KHL."
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and then a good team signs him, and Arizona's like, "I'm gonna take this," and I might not even play him. Who knows?
No, they might not. You know what? I kind of think this is just 100% my theory. The Leafs, they made the trade earlier with Lyubushkin and Nick Ritchie. We know that Chychrun's name was tossed up and thrown around. I think there may have been a deal kind of circulating for maybe Vejmelka, maybe Chychrun, and it didn't go through.
I've heard that too.
Because would that be hearing what they're asking for 3 first-round picks for Chychrun?
Yeah.
And that was the ask from Arizona. So I kind of think that was asked, and the Leafs kind of said like, go away, no one's going to pay that. And I kind of think that this goalie came up and they saw it as an opportunity to be like, you know what? We're going to just take him from you. Sorry, see you later. I honestly think it was kind of a bit of a payback move.
Maybe. Well, apparently, I was listening to the Steve Dangle podcast the other day, and apparently they have it on authority of an insider, they would not say who, that teams, GMs in the NHL find it hilarious to claim players from the Leafs. The Leafs lead the league by double.
I believe that.
Of claimed people. And just mentioned it, and I can't say it's proved or not, but they said they have an insider, and they won't say who or anything like that. That said, yeah, they said, and I'm not sure if you listened to the episode or not.
No,
but Steve mentions it, and like, because he works for Sportsnet and all that stuff, he knows people, and he's like,
you know what? Part of that's also probably to do with the fact that they have an unlimited budget. And they can sign whoever they want without worry. Yeah. Like, they could sign this player and bury him in the minors and never worry about what his contract is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how many teams can just put $6 million down to the minors and not have to worry about it?
No, not many.
Like, there are a lot of teams that can't.
Maybe 4.
The Leafs put Ritchie and Mrazek down to the minors,
but without
blinking an eye.
How bad is it that the Leafs, it's the GMs allegedly find it hilarious to claim people off the Leafs for fun?
Because the Leafs are everyone's dartboard.
No, but
you just attack it.
I agree, but like, how funny is it that that's a thing where they claim people off Leafs for shits and giggles, and nobody would take Mrazek?
There's a reason for that. People saw the price tag with Mrazek and wouldn't touch it.
No.
Right? You have to look at the players being claimed, how much are they making?
Well, some of them make a little bit. Like, was Vesey? Did we trade Jimmy Vesey, or did he get claimed? I can't remember.
I don't recall.
I think he got claimed, but I don't know.
But even then, what was he making?
$2 million or something like that. But he was also a competent player. Leafs actually did just end up winning 3-2.
Oh, okay, nice.
So, yay. Good.
Nice.
I'm going to watch those highlights later. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Leafs. Did you say you had something?
Yeah, I have. The only thing I have to say about the Leafs is I kept waiting for the big trade.
It never
Giordano was a good trade. I'm not against that. But I was waiting for
the trade.
I want to say the Marc-Andre Fleury trade.
Well,
but they moved Mrazek down and cleared up cap space. They moved Clifford down, moved up cap space. Muzzin's cap space was gone. Sandin was put on IR. His cap space was gone. Like, they freed up so much. They moved Dermott to free up cap space. Like, they moved up so many contract spots and so much cap space that I kept waiting for here we go. Like, and the fact that they traded Dermott for a 3rd round pick, I thought for sure they were going to flip that third round pick with something else for the big player that was going to make the playoffs worth it this year.
So
because I don't know if the goaltending that we have, if spending 2 seconds and a third on Giordano is worth it. Because there's a solid chance with the team that we have, as much as the offense is incredible, the defense just got better. With the goaltending situation we have, we could easily be swept in 4 games in the first round.
We will.
Playing against Tampa or Florida.
We are not making past the first round this year.
There's a chance we could if Campbell comes back hot.
So let's go into it. Review the trade deadline for the Leafs. Personally, disappointed. Very.
Like I said, I just kept waiting for the trade.
I tweeted it out. I said, "Oh, great Giordano trade! I can't wait for what comes next."
Nothing. I kept waiting for the trade that was going to solidify this is our year to win it. And it just never came.
You know what really killed me? I had the trade deadline countdown while I was working.
Yeah.
And I watched the Kyle Dubas interview.
Okay.
The amount of times he said, "I have faith in this. We should have faith in this. We have faith in these guys. We have faith they'll pull through." It's like, that sounds like a lot of faith and not a lot of our goaltending looks good. It's I have faith they'll get better. I have faith that they'll look better. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's because it's like you said, if Campbell turns it around, yay.
If Campbell can do what he did in November when he was putting up a 930 plus, or even if he comes back and puts up a 920, this team is a solid contender.
If he puts up a 910, I'm happy.
A 910 would be good.
I'll take a 910 over what they were doing. But
right now I'll take a 900.
If we don't get average, we're not doing anything in this division.
Even with average, they won't make it to the second round.
No, I'm saying bare minimum average. And
I want a 920. If we get around a 920 from Campbell, this team has a solid chance of going far. Like I'm talking finals.
The fact, and Dubas was very happy to say we didn't want to. We have our first and we didn't want to spend our first, and we're happy about that. I'm like, maybe you should have spent the first, dude. You don't have a goalie, and you have 2 years left to make this run.
But really, what other goalie would you really have gone for? What goalie would have changed? Because we didn't see any other goalies moved.
It was just
Fleury. That would have been game-changing goalies. It was just Fleury, and it was Fleury's choice to go where he wanted.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's the thing is, if we saw 4 goalies traded that were all good goaltenders, we could be a little more angry about it. Mm-hmm. Like we could have said, spend the first, get the player. However, you can't go get a player that's not available.
You can't tell me
that's the problem.
He couldn't have spent maybe even a prospect or two to get a solid goaltender. Like there's got to be some trash team like Ottawa that would.
They're absolutely but Ottawa just signed Forsberg.
Yeah,
they just signed him for two something.
Well, here's the alternative. You don't get the goalie, and you're like, I saved the picks, and I didn't spend the prospects. Great. You're playing against Tampa or the Panthers, who are going to steamroll you because they got way better, and they were already better than you.
Lightning got better. Panthers got way better.
Panthers are
Panthers. Stupid. The teams to really be worried about are. Here are my predictions.
No.
If I had to pick, let me just pull it up here. If I had to pick 2 teams from the East, 2 teams from the West, to really be worried about, it would be. Sorry, I just want to pull it up here in front of me quickly.
I'm assuming you're gonna be like Panthers, Lightning, and then Avs and Flames.
So out of the Western, Avs. Okay, I'm picking 3 teams per side.
Okay.
I'm going to go Avs Flames with kind of a like
Asterisk on the Wild.
No.
They
Asterisk on the Golden Knights. Asterisk on the Golden Knights. The 3 teams I would choose are Avalanche, Flames, and Wild.
That's what I said. Wild, like Minnesota.
They're not an asterisk. They're one of the 3 teams I think is going far.
Yeah, no,
a hot goaltender will take you a long way.
Yeah, it's a go for it year for them.
Now the problem is on the eastern side.
Well, you know,
have
Tampa
the
Panther.
Panthers, the Lightning. You have the Hurricanes and the Rangers. I think the Rangers are going to be a sneaky team that enter kind of mid to late pack and really surprise people on what they can do.
Well, because they made a splash in the trade deadline as well.
Not huge, but they picked up Andrew Kopp.
They did.
Right? Andrew Kopp's not a fantastic player, but he's got, I think, 37 points in 57 games. 2 of those 37 points came in his first game with the Rangers. He got 2 assists. He's primarily been playing center lately, but I know he can play all 3. I think he plays both wings and center. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he does. He throws his body around a little bit. I think he's 6'1", 200 plus pounds. But he's a defensive guy, right? Yeah, you're adding more defensive depth on that team in front of the best goaltender in the league. They're a team that gonna watch for them. Like they're gonna do something in the playoffs.
Oh, I agree.
They're absolutely making it to the second round, unless Capitals jump them and they have to play the Hurricanes in the first round.
And here's the problem. I'm gonna make some comparisons here. Leafs versus Panthers. Who wins that game? In a best of 7, just Leafs versus Panthers. Who would you think?
I'm probably going Panthers on that one.
Leafs versus Lightning. Who wins that series?
I think the Leafs have a chance to take Lightning. Nope. Wait, I had a theory on this. Yeah, sorry. I think the Leafs have a better chance of beating the Lightning than they do Panthers.
Oh, but I'm not comparing the Panthers. Just in a vacuum.
I think the Leafs could take the Lightning.
Okay, so that's 1.
I also think the Lightning could win the Stanley Cup. Like like the Leafs versus Lightning is gonna be it's gonna be like the Leafs versus Washington series a couple years ago, where like 5 of the 6 games all went to overtime.
Yeah,
like that's what it's gonna be.
Okay, Leafs versus Hurricanes. Who wins that game?
Oh, Hurricanes.
Leafs versus Rangers.
Hurricanes are going to the end.
Leafs versus Rangers. Who wins that?
That's a tough one. That's gonna be a close one. The Rangers have the best goaltending in the league.
The
Leafs have potentially the best goal scoring in the league.
Yeah. So
that's where but then again, so do
maybe
Panthers.
Maybe to wash there.
That's why I said it's gonna be close.
Okay.
But I mean, Rangers versus Hurricanes, Rangers versus Penguins, Rangers versus Capitals. I'm taking the Rangers.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do here is I want to compare the Leafs to all the teams you say are going far. So in the Eastern Conference of the 4, you said the Leafs are going to win 1 out of and that was against the Lightning, and even then that was a wash. Now
week by.
And now for the West, Leafs versus Colorado. Colorado.
Probably, but I don't know. Every time they've played Colorado, they've been Leafs won the first game.
Playoff hockey.
And they lost by 1 in the second game.
Playoff hockey, Colorado, they will kill them.
Will they? They're not a big rough. Actually, you know what? They just got Josh Manson.
I was just going to bring him up.
That's right. They just got Manson on the back end.
Yeah.
Colorado, I genuinely think Colorado from the Western side, Colorado's going to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
I don't care what other teams have done. I think Colorado and the Panthers are going to the Stanley Cup Finals. Originally, I said Lightning were, but after seeing that the Panthers got Giroux and Ben Sherratt,
Panthers,
right? They got up. They're already a good, solid team, and they just improved their defense and their forwards, and they've got Bobrovsky on a hot year.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm very disappointed in our trade deadline, not just because we didn't get a goaltender. I mean, we got Giordano, that's a great trade. But in comparison to all the other top teams, the only teams I see the Leafs, I put the Leafs above out of all the teams you mentioned. Like, I would put them above the Wild. I'd put them above the Flames.
Yep. No, here's the problem though.
That's it.
A hot goaltender in the playoffs will take you a. Let me rename these teams here: Panthers, Lightning, Hurricanes, Wild, Flames. Name a bad goaltender. Who's got the worst goaltender? Exactly. Maybe Freddie Anderson, who's having a career best year,
but
or Marc-Andre Fleury, who's played on a bad Chicago team.
I would only say Freddie would be the worst just because he has a tendency to flop in the playoffs, as we've seen.
He does. He also has never played this good, I think.
Yeah. So, but
really,
out of them, I would say he's the weakest.
So
not a bad one.
No, exactly. But that's what I mean. Like, if that's your, he's actually number one in the league for save percentage, or for goals against. Sorry, he's number one. He's number one in the league for goals against. He's number two in the league for save percentage.
I was gonna say he's above Shesterkin.
Save percentage, no.
Okay.
Goals against, yes.
Interesting. But that's the thing.
That's what I mean. Is like you look at the teams that are playing here, and like I said, a hot goaltender takes you a long way. That's why I have the Wild there. And as good as, I mean, the Lightning have Vasilevsky, Panthers have Bobrovsky, he's hot. Hurricanes, Freddie, Rangers, Shesterkin, Wild, Fleury, Markstrom on the Flames. Like, they all have hot goaltenders right now. The only one without a hot goaltender would be Avalanche, and Kemper still has a .923 save percentage.
Yeah.
So like, he's the cold goaltender with a .923 out of those 6 teams. So like, it's
that, and again, that's why
the Leafs can outscore only so many problems.
Yeah, you're playing against all the best goalies, and your goaltending isn't even average.
No.
You're like that's why all this year I've actually been defending Dubas because of his off season. I was like, I switched sides, and I'm like, you know what, dude's awesome at this. Dude did great. I didn't like his first year, but all of his off seasons, all his acquisitions have been phenomenal. This trade deadline, in comparison to all the other teams, all the other top teams, it just looks like he gave up.
I want to just mention one thing about Dubas, because it's something that we've brought up a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
We said his offseason was fantastic. He's shooting 75%.
Yeah.
Because out of the 4 pickups he got, 3 of them were good, right?
Well, actually, no, because Mrazek and Ritchie were bad. Yeah.
Every time we've brought this conversation up, we said 3 out of 4 isn't bad. 75% is good. Every time we've talked about this conversation, we've only talked about forwards. We've never brought Mrazek into that conversation, and technically, he was an off-season pickup.
And not a good one.
So 3 for 5 have been good.
It's not.
And the $6 million or $6.3 million he tied up into the 2 that were bad is a lot.
That makes it even worse.
But Mrazek will not be a Leaf after this offseason.
Oh, absolutely not.
The fact that they put him on waivers says that they don't want him anymore.
What do you do with him?
You move him at the deadline.
How?
Give up a 4th with him. Give him a 3rd with move him. They moved Nick Ritchie.
Yeah, but he makes less, he's not.
Teams are going to need a goaltender, and Mrazek is not this bad.
No,
he's this bad on a team that has 0 defense. You get a team with a decent defense, Mrazek will put up decent numbers.
You can't put his play on the defense. You can't say we have 0 defense.
You can definitely put part of it on the defense.
Part of it, yes, but when he is the farthest person,
he's
from
also
the
having
net,
a bad year.
Yeah, I'm just saying, saying 0 defense, and I retaliate with there are goals where he is the farthest
Yeah.
away from the net.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. 100%. It's not all the defense's fault. However, looking at his past, looking at his numbers, it's proven that this isn't how bad he is. And in the future, he won't be this bad.
No, but
with this team this year, it is not working.
No.
Right. So that's
my thing. That's kind of my review. I think they had a very bad trade deadline in comparison to all the other top teams. I don't think they have a chance now. I don't think they have a chance in hell now.
You know what? If Campbell, it's a big if. If Campbell comes back hot, yes, this team has a chance. If they're getting the goaltender they got in the last 2.5 months, we're in a lot of trouble.
If we get league average, even if we get league average goaltending, we're not. No, because like you said, who's the worst goalie of those goalies is a 920.
923.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Campbell is sitting in like the 800s right now.
The thing is though, Lightning, Rangers, Wild, and Flames versus the Leafs. Who has a better offense? Right? Sorry, the Leafs. In my opinion, the Leafs would beat all those teams' offense. The only teams that they're on par with offensively are
Colorado and
Panthers and Colorado.
Yeah.
Those are the two teams. And Colorado's offense is ridiculously good. And they just bumped up their defense. Right? We just bumped up our defense. The problem is the Panthers did both.
Yeah. And also, you may say the Leafs have better offense than Lightning, which I agree. Yep. They also have Vasilevsky in net, who is one of the best goaltenders around.
And Hedman on the defense.
I was going to say Victor Hedman.
Yeah.
And our acquisition is a 38-year-old defenseman.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know. I know. I was high on this team early in the season. I still think they can surprise us, but it's really going to ride on Campbell's shoulders.
They're making it really hard to
believe it. If
actively trying.
If you bet me $100 right now, hey James, name the top four name the final four in the playoffs.
Leafs aren't one of them.
I don't know if I could name them accurately. Some years you can be like, yeah, these are the top four teams, and 2 of the 4 or 3 of the 4 will make it. Because you always have a wild card team Montreal, right? Yeah.
Something always makes is always weird.
You look at the Atlantic. Who's going to be there? Panthers or Lightning? Right? Literally could be either one of them.
Yeah, it's hard.
Who's going to be there? Rangers or Hurricanes?
I would give it to the Hurricanes.
Okay, Avs or Wild?
Avs. Not a question.
Okay, and then you have Flames and potentially the Golden Knights.
That is a wild card.
That's what but even then, yes, I think the Avalanche will beat the Wild. But the Wild did make a couple of moves to improve their team. They improved their offense too, if I'm mistaken. I think they improved their offense as well. But I mean, if Fleury, look at what Price did last year. A hot goaltender can take you a long way. And Fleury's put up pretty good numbers on a Chicago team that was not that good.
I agree.
Right?
But I'm just saying Colorado is beastly.
Colorado is, for what they lack in goaltending, they just made up by getting Josh Manson.
Yeah.
They are a strong... I genuinely think they're the best team. They have the potential to be the best team of the Cap era. And I will say that. They are on pace to potentially break the record for points in a Cap era.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
I think the record's 118 points. Yeah. And they are 18 points off of it.
Chase must be a very happy man.
No kidding.
Going back to what you said earlier, just to finish it off. you said if you were asked to bet $100 to see who the top four would, you would be able to do it. If I bet you $100 on whether the Leafs are going to make it to the second round or not, would you take that bet?
We already have a bet saying the Leafs will make it to the second round.
And I don't.
Just so you know.
And my $100 says they will not.
I don't think it was $100.
Was it like $50 or something? I can't remember. Was it whiskey?
Actually, it is $100.
It's $100.
It is $100. Yeah. Oh no!
What is it?
$100. Leafs make the playoffs.
Well, I
win. I win if the Leafs make the playoffs.
But didn't we also have another?
You were so low on that team.
I was.
That you didn't think they were going to make the play. So I have it $100 if the Leafs make the playoffs.
Isn't there another?
I also have a bet with Chase. $50 if Tampa makes it to the semifinals. And Chase bet me because he was high on Boston. $20 that Boston Bruins will make the finals.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've got potentially $170 coming in. 100 of it coming in a month and a half because the Leafs are making the playoffs.
Yeah, there's no way.
See,
there'll be a wild card.
They're in second place now.
Leafs?
Yeah. They jumped the Lightning by winning tonight.
Oh, yeah. My thing just
they're now it's crazy though, 83, 84, 85. And if you remember the beginning of the season, and I think it was our first or second podcast, I said the Leafs are going to come first, Florida second, Lightning third, Bruins fourth, and I said they were all going to be within 2 or 3 points of each other. I said it was going to be really tight.
The only thing you didn't call was Panthers being stupid good.
You know what? There's still 19 games left in the season. The Leafs can jump the Panthers and finish first place. It is not out of reach, and now that we have Giordano, hopefully we can get something with Shelgren going and get some better goaltending. They could catch up to the Panthers. It's going to be hard because the Panthers are 5 points up and a game in hand, but it is possible. So we'll see. We'll see, but yeah.
Man, that is the jump between a playoff position to not a playoff position in the Atlantic is really stupid.
Not even the Atlantic, yes, in the Atlantic, but in the Eastern Division. The Eastern Conference, the top 8 have been decided.
Yeah.
For a top 8 team to fall out, something needs to go really badly. Really badly, and that's for the Metro because it's not happening in the Atlantic.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna hold on to my $100.
You think you are?
No,
but drop out?
No, but the way when you say something desperately horribly must happen for that to change, I'm like, if that's gonna happen to anybody,
can go from first to last.
It's true.
Yeah. I don't even know if there's enough games left for the Red Wings to catch up.
What is it? There's 19 games.
Yeah.
No, they'd have.
I guess
if they win every single one.
Yeah.
Then, yes.
They could. And the Leafs have to lose the next 19 games.
Yeah.
They could jump them. Wow.
If Campbell stays injured and then Shalgren gets injured and then we're stuck with Mrazek, Hutchinson.
We'll put Hall in net. Just do that.
Justin Hall?
Yep. Throw a set of pads on him.
Oh, God.
Here you go, buddy.
Get the E-bug in.
Good luck. Yeah. Wow. And you know what? So Darcy Kemper's been on a bit of a tear lately. March. Listen to these last 5 games. Ready? March 8th, 9:05.
Okay.
Against New Jersey. March 10th against Carolina, 972. Against Calgary, shutout. Against LA, shutout. And against Edmonton, 920.
He's kind of good.
Back-to-back shutouts. Wow. March 13th and March 15th. Back-to-back games, too.
I had him
It wasn't
last.
like there was a couple games in between.
I had him last year. Wish we did a keeper league last year and I could have kept him.
Wow.
That would have been nice.
Wow. Yeah, he's having a pretty. Yeah, he's got a 923 save percentage this year. 5 shutouts on the year.
So stupid.
Yeah, he's in 44 starts. He's 38-2. Like 30 wins, 8 losses, and 2 overtime losses. He's having a pretty fantastic year.
Who's listen to all these standings. Who is your pick for the top 2 this year? I'm just curious. Who's your early
Top 2?
Who's your really early pick for the top 2 this year?
So I've been high on the Hurricanes for a while.
Uh-huh.
I really thought the Hurricanes were going to go far this year. But you know what? The Panthers made a big splash. I mean, they didn't need more offense, and they have Giroux. So maybe it throws off the chemistry. But, I mean, they also picked up Sherratt on the back end, so they got better there. I honestly think Panthers, Avs.
Yeah, that's
And I think
choice.
Avs are taking it.
I think so.
I think Avs go for the cup this year. But like I said, if you told me to pick a top 4 accurately, I couldn't.
Oh no.
Because it's I can pretty accurately predict the first round of the playoffs. Looking at the standings right now as they stand, I feel confident choosing the first round.
Mm-hmm.
The second round, that's where you lose me.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm probably going to do a playoff pool this year. But it's going to be a bad decision.
Yeah, we did it last year, and I was out immediately.
Oh, I said the Leafs were going to win the first round. Like, I lost immediately. I think anyone who chose Montreal to win won that.
Oh my god, I can't believe, man. Imagine if you I wonder what the bet would have been. I wonder what the bet would have been to say Montreal like won the cup or something like that, or at least gone to the finals.
Finals, yeah.
I bet that was still a good payout.
It may have been. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. All right, I think that's all I've got for this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. No more trades. It was just we just kind of went over like some of the bigger ones. The Leafs, unfortunately,
Kotkaniemi got re-signed.
Oh, how much?
$4.82 million a year for 8 years.
Okay.
So Carolina offer sheeted him at $6.1 million.
They got a discount.
It was a lot of money, but they got the rights, and now they have him locked up for 8 years at $4.8 million.
Good move.
Still a lot of money, but I mean, you know what? It was a good move on their part, and we'll see what that team does. That team's doing fantastic right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think other than that, that's it.
Yeah. Next games are, Leafs beat the Devils tonight. The next ones, we got the Canadiens Saturday, the Panthers Sunday, and the Bruins Tuesday.
Yeah. Couple tough games coming up here. You know what? Couple tough games, important games. All 3 games are against the Atlantic Division.
You need to shit stomp the Canadiens this time.
Yes.
In Montreal. Yeah.
In Montreal, yeah.
You cannot have another bad
curb stomp Montreal. Man, that Florida game is going to be an exciting one. It could be a high-scoring game. I don't know which team, but it could be a high-scoring game. And then Boston on Tuesday. Yeah, it's an important week because they're all divisional teams.
It's a very important week. It's against 2 teams that they could potentially be playing in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Right? And then Montreal, who apparently keeps embarrassing the Leafs.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they do.
Yeah.
And then
smarten up. This is a wake up
call.
And
then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on next week's podcast. But big game on the 31st too. That's the game against Winnipeg.
Oh my! Isn't the last time they played them was?
It was the Piant knee to Sandin, Yup. Spezza knee to Pionk's head. So it's big. And then we start April with a game against Tampa and a game against Florida. Like we've got a tough couple weeks coming up.
Well, they had an easy 2, and then they played like crap throughout the whole thing. So now they have to play the hard teams.
Yep. So hopefully they can step up, put their big boy pants on, and go to work.
Because remember, if they lose 19 straight, they're out of the playoffs.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'll see. Like I said, that's all I've got for this one.
Yeah, same here. All right, we are going to be back next week. This will be up Thursday night on the 24th. I mean, you already know you're watching it right now. And next week, we're going to see what happens because I may or may not be in the country. I'll have my laptop.
Right.
So I'm going to try to do it. I might have to do it at like a coffee shop or something in the States.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I will do my best.
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. You know the drill. And we'll see you guys next week.